Hello, my dear aspirants. How are you? I hope so. You are doing well. My name is Dr. Abid, and I welcome to all of you in JC School. As we know that we have started the impressive and one of the most important series regarding the UPSC syllabus explanation. As you know that we have covered almost two important topics, and today we will discuss environmental pollution and degradation. And in this class, we will try to discuss the subtopics, nature, scope and significances, and last one we will discuss the resources which are very important for UPSC purpose. So this is a great initiative started by GSSCO, UPSC Civil Service Examination Syllabus Explained. Okay, so I say highly, I have already told you a number of times that we are highly dedicated to, and we will discuss the environment and ecology, GS paper 3rd, and this is our topic, today class topic, environment, pollution and degradations. As we know that environment play very important role in every paper, every GS paper from first to second, third and fourth, and even some little bit part from the essay and some little part from the ethical sides. And sure, the questions are coming and is being asked in the interview also. So basically dynamic subject hai, and one of the most important subject hai, there is no doubt. So we have to focus on each and every point. Getting my point? So we have to discuss thoroughly, and we have to understand what is the importance and what is the significance, what is the nature, and what kind of questions we have to learn, and we have to discuss, we have to understand when we are preparing for UPSC Civil Service Examination. So without any giving motivational lecture, let's start. Here you can check the division of syllabus. Okay, so right now we have divided almost 8 categories. मतलब environment syllabus का जो है हमने 8 categories में divide किया है. And today we are going to discuss environmental pollution and degradation. There is no doubt. So as when we talk about the environmental pollution and degradation, so these are all subtopics which we have to discuss and which we have to cover, and I will tell you that how to understand these all important areas. Okay, getting my point? So we are talking about the micro details, and when we talk about the types of environmental pollution, as we know that there are number of pollutions from air, water, land, chemical, okay, noise, nuclear, number of things. Okay, so each and every point we have to discuss. Okay, first of all, we have to cover all types of environment pollutions, and next, what are the major causes of pollution? Actually, as we know that each and every pollution has a different kind of causes, and we have to cover, and we have to find out the major causes. Okay, as we know that the human activities are the highly responsible, as we know that these all are the different kind of activities. Getting my point? And just we have to understand the impact of pollutions on biodiversity or ecosystem and human health. Getting my point? When we say the impact of pollutions on biodiversity and humans, so we have to understand that what is the current scenario or status of the biodiversity, okay, and flora and fauna, and what are the impact on humans. As we know that we have this is one of the most important topic. Okay, getting my point? Environmental degradation, this is one of the most important. Why environmental degrading day by day, and we have to find out the major important areas. Okay, so yes, this is legal and policy frameworks. There is no doubt there are number of legal and policy framework from the 1972. If we talk about the biodiversity, so we have Wildlife Protection Act 1972 and Biological Diversity Act 2002. These all are the for the biodiversity. And on the other hand, when we talk about the pollution, so we have a number of pollution acts from the 1974 Water Act, and 1980 Forest Act, and 1981 Air Act, 1986 Air Environmental Pollution Act, and 1991 Liabilities Insurance Act, and as we know that 2002 okay, Biological Diversity Act 2016, okay, Solid Waste Management Act, and 2001 Noise Pollution Act and rules. So we have to discuss the legal and policy frameworks. What are the legal framework existing in inside? As we know that each and every types of pollution have a different kind of act. Okay, so on the other hand, we have to also discuss government schemes and missions. What are the major schemes and what are the major schemes related to the pollution or or other important areas. Getting my point? So number of schemes are running in our society. These are highly central sponsored schemes, and some are the state sponsored schemes. Okay, Swachh Bharat Mission, Amrut, Atal Bhujal, Kisan, and NAPCC, National Action Plan on Climate Change, number of things. Okay, so on the other hand, we have to discuss, ठीक है, role of civic societies and technologies. As we know that in 2024, in 2024, a question has been asked by the UPSC in men's examination GS paper third. ठीक है, the role of civil societies. Civil societies means the role of NGO and activists regarding the environmental impact assessment. So getting the point. So these all areas highly important, and we have to understand when we are talking about the environmental pollution degradation. So we have to follow and we have to cover each and every area, ठीक है, which are highly requirable for the our UPSC prelims, ठीक है, preparation. Getting my point? Now let's move toward the micro detail number nature. मतलब let's discuss the nature. What is the nature of environmental, ठीक है, pollution and degradation? Please look, this is one of the most important area. Okay, so if you are a serious aspirant, so please this is for you. Okay, getting my point? So first of all, what are the nature? Human caused. देखो, हम सब जानते हैं कि human activities are highly responsible for environmental pollution. There is no doubt. Deforestation increasing and urbanization increasing and expansion of agriculture practices means, अब यहाँ देखेंगे बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट यहाँ पर हमें दिखाई दे रही हैं. एंड ऑन द अदर हैंड वी आर हाईली फोकस ऑन इंडस्ट्रीज, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इंडस्ट्रीज. नाउ यू कैन वॉच इंडस्ट्रीज, अर्बन एरियाज एंड एग्रीकल्चर एक्टिविटीज. दीज ऑल आर द हाईली कोज्ड एक्टिविटीज. नेक्स्ट, मल्टी डायमेंशनल. हाँ, इसके साथ देयर इज नो डाउट मल्टी डायमेंशनल नेचर है, लाइक एयर, वाटर, सोइल, बायोडाइवर्सिटी इन हेल्थ. We have to discuss each and every area which is highly requirable. And on the other hand, cumulative and long term, ठीक है, effect build over time and may persist for decades. Effects builds over time and may persist for decades. There is no doubt. We have to understand what are the effective period of pollutions. Okay, we have to understand. Look, effect build over time. If you are ठीक है, doing you are writing or making a notes of environmental pollution degradation, so please you make sure you have to add the cumulative and long term effect. ठीक. Next, transboundaries. As we know that मैं आपको खबर बताता हूँ, कल की है दिल्ली में IQ एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स it was more than 500 and haze type pollution वहाँ पर दिखाई दिया, धुंध टाइप में and day broad light. So news are coming that it was coming from the Pakistan side and it was coming from that side. So you can easily understand these are all transboundaries, means pollution crosses borders requiring global cooperation. So now it's become the global issues. So we have to understand the role of transboundaries. How many pollutions are coming from the different countries? ये बहुत important area है. Please make sure आप इसको cover करेंगे. Next one, impacts of the vulnerable most. देखो, maximum poor and marginal communities are hardest hit. These are the highly prone sections of the societies. So we have to understand their health status, their economic status, their social status, why they are highly hit. ठीक है, ये बहुत important areas है, means impact of the vulnerable most. So you have to include these all areas also. Next, driven by modern lifestyle, high consumption and waste accelerate damages. देखो, ये इसमें कोई दोहराने वाली बात नहीं कि दिल्ली हैज अ हाई मॉडर्न लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड, बट ऑन द अदर हैंड वी हैव अ वेरी लीस्ट, ठीक है, जो एक एनवायरमेंट होता है, जो कैटेगरीज होती है वो हमारे पास है. सो देयर इज नो डाउट, बट यू हैव टू ऐड ड्राइवन बाय मॉडर्न लाइफस्टाइल्स लाइक हाई कंजप्शन एंड वेस्ट एक्सेलरेट डैमेजेस. सो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. दिस इज द वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एरियाज and often hidden. Many pollutants are invisible, leading to underestimation. Means you have to find out what kind of, ठीक है, hidden pollutants are: lead, arsenic, chloroform, PM10, PM2.5, COO, ठीक है, NO, NO2, SO4, SO. बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. We have to find and their causes. Now you have to link to climate change, share causes and worsen each other's impact. As we know that directly, indirectly, ये खतरा है, क्लाइमेट चेंज को लीड कर रहा है, इंक्रीज कर रहा है. एज वी नो दैट ड्यू टू क्लाइमेट चेंज पृथ्वी भी गर्म हो रही है, अर्थ इज वार्मिंग. व्हाट टू डू राइट नाउ, बिकॉज ड्यू टू क्लाइमेट चेंज एवरीथिंग इज चेंजिंग रैपिडली एंड एज वी नो दैट सी लेवल राइजिंग, सी सरफेस टेम्परेचर राइजिंग, ग्लेशियर मेल्टिंग हो रहे हैं, ठीक है, कोस्टल जो एरियाज है वो सबमर्ज हो रहे हैं, एंड द पैटर्न ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर and pattern of monsoon or rainfall changing rapidly. So each and everything, ठीक है, are coming due to human activities. So we have to stop the human activities. हाँ, बढ़िया यार, we have to stop the human activities. Possible है ऐसा? Because we have crossed almost 800 crore people, and most of the more than 50% people residing between 20 to 40 degree north latitude. That was the time, and you will find over there कितना ज़्यादा concentration वहाँ रहा होगा, किस प्रकार का pollution वहाँ से release हो रहा है, ये सब बहुत ज़्यादा serious matter है. Next, scope. So we have to understand what is the scope of environmental pollution and degradation. Look, scientific ecological means I'm saying study ecosystem. Studies ecosystem damage and pollutant behavior. This is one of the most important areas that we have to understand what are the ecosystem damages and pollutant behaviors. देखो, अगर ecosystem healthy है means food chain, food web, flora fauna, ठीक है, trophic level, pyramids is all healthy. अगर ये healthy नहीं है, damage हो रहा है, तो definitely each and everything will be affected. So you have to include the scientific ecological studies. Next, health and socials. Impact human health and deepen social inequalities. Okay, so यहाँ पर poor and marginalized communities को add कर सकते हैं. That is very very important areas. And on the other, health and social means what are the impact on health and what is the stratification over societies. As we know that poor and marginalized peoples are highly prone to hit by the environmental pollution and degradation. So environmental pollution basically in the cities, ठीक है, hitting hard to the poor and marginalized communities. So basically you have to add what are the health problems are taking place over there and what are the, ठीक है, social inequalities prevailing over there. As we know that more than 80 crore people are taking rations from the previous sites, so you can easily understand now that what kind of the impact and what kind of the seriousness is coming from these two important areas, poor and marginalized sections. ठीक है, next, economic development causes financial losses and hinder sustainable development. You can add in to each other what kind of economic development causes financial losses and hinder sustainable growth. Number of things are coming that due to pollution, zero hunger index, and almost we have a more than 100 rank in the globally. Okay, so what is the status of hunger index, what is the status of per capita income, and what is the status of food security, है ना, getting my point? So almost what is the status of expenditure, what is the status of consumption. So you can add number of important areas that due to environmental pollutions क्या क्या देखने में आ रहा है, and where we right now that how can we adopt the sustainable development. ठीक है, बहुत important है भाई ये. Next, policy and legals need a strong laws and international agreements. There is no doubt everything is depend on treaty, summit, act, scheme, policy, programs, awareness, NGOs, activists, number of things, ठीक है, you are going to read. Technological innovation drives clean tech and sustainable solutions. There are a number of technological advancement we have seen in recent past couple of years. Okay, so recently Delhi was the witness that smoke tower was one of them, cloud seeding is one of them, and number of important areas है ना, OD1, grid response, बहुत सारी चीजें हमने देखी हैं. So you should add these all areas. Governance involve planning, enforcement, and global cooperation. As we know that we have lots of schemes regarding air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, solid waste management. ठीक है, so what are the role of, and we have each and every important acts, getting my point? So involve planning, enforcement, global cooperation. As we know that recent Paris Agreement was done, and China and India was exempted from that particular agreement, and USA and Australia withdraw. The Paris Agreement means technology transfers, and you have to decrease the temperature, you have to contribute, and you have to decrease या फिर slow the your development projects 2 degrees Celsius temperature below the 1.5 degrees Celsius 1991 something कुछ ऐसी उसमें बात की गई है. So we have to invest, we have to involve these important areas. And when we talk about the environment enforcement, and as we know that very weak enforcement, बहुत weak enforcement है, and this is the I think so this is the biggest challenge when we have a different kind of acts. तो भाई enforcement क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? Why? ठीक है, why we have a very weak enforcement? And whenever global corporations you can add, ठीक है, UNFCCC, Kyoto Protocol, you can add Paris Agreement, you can add, ठीक है, CBD, Agachi, Montreal Protocol, number of things you can add over there, है ना. Educational behaviors, one of the most important, require awareness and lifestyle changes, means you have to start from the schooling educations. And one of the most important is that when we have a very weak enforcement of law, on the other hand very weak awareness. So इसको भी आप याद रखिए, we have to work on the awareness. ठीक है, इसको भी आप ऐड कर लेना अपनी. ठीक है. Next, global strategies, demand, coordinate long-term global actions. You can add these all areas from the agreements, treaty and summits. Next one, what is the significance of particular areas? Look, unsustainable development indicators. देखो, reflect overuse and mismanagement of resources. On the other hand, I have number of scenes that if we are using drastically our resources, for example, coal, okay, and water and air, definitely it will lead to unsustainable development indicators. So we have to work. Okay, we have to work on how to work on overuse, to reduce the overuses, and how to work against the mismanagement of resources. And health threat, we have discussed, serious threats निकल कर आ रहे हैं health के लिए और जो कि quality of life को खराब कर रहे हैं. Next, ecosystem and biodiversity losses, there is no doubt. ठीक है, अगर ह्यूमन हेल्थ पर प्रभाव पड़ रहा है तो डेफिनेटली इकोसिस्टम एंड बायोडाइवर्सिटी लॉस भी हमें दिखाई देगा. सो डिस्ट्रॉय हैबिटेट एंड डिस्टर्ब इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंसेस, यू कैन ऐड ओवर देयर वेस्टर्न घाट, ईस्टर्न घाट and number of important areas, even Aravalli Range you can add over there. Economic burdens, increase health care cost and reduce productivity, and you've seen in the corona, take it 2020 and 2021, that was a time. So due to pollutions, increase health care cost and reduce productivity, frequently poor and marginalized जो section है society का वो बीमार पड़ रहा है. So directly indirectly it's a burden on the government. Climate connection, contribute to and is worsened by climate change. You can add these all important areas. And last one, policy priorities, demand urgent attention at a national global level. Yes, there is no doubt, and we are working since 1972. Okay, innovation drivers, stimulate green technologies and sustainable solutions. Yeah, now you have to add these all important areas. Means, okay, policy priorities and innovation drivers are two important areas, and we have discussed and we have seen in Baku, Azerbaijan, COP Conference of Parties 29 in Baku. We have seen, and as we know that Conference of Parties is the highest decision-making body of UNFCCC. ठीक है, getting my point? Convention on Climate Change. This is one of the most important thing. Now let's move toward the, ठीक है, sources and resources. These all are the important resources, and पढ़ो भाई, ठीक है. Down to Earth magazine, Yojana, Kurukshetra, Science Reporters, Current Affairs, the Indian Express, the Hindu, and PIB. These all are the important areas which we have to cover. And for information, you can visit on GS Score website and YouTube channel. If you have any inquiry, any doubts, you can contact me or GS Score directly. ठीक है, we are highly committed for your success, and ठीक है. So this is enough from this side, and I hope so you will like this. If you have any doubts, you can comment. सेक्शन है उसमें जाकर कमेंट कर लेना, और कोई भी डाउट हो पूछ सकते हैं. आई एम हियर for you 24/7 365 days. There is no doubt. And my name is Dr. Abid, and this is enough from this side. Take care. See you soon.